Hi, this is a basic introduction to the way the Blendspace page works. I've signed in as a student rather than as a faculty member, so I can show you what the interface looks like here. And you can see that here's the course, our course for this space. And if you don't see this, you can join the class and use that code I gave you on the syllabus, USRL, and you should be able to join the space. Once you get on there, you'll see something like this. You will have collaborative control over your unit, so you should see the new lesson button, and all you do to create a lesson is click that, choose our course. This will explain to you how you do this if you need additional explanation. I'm not going to play that. What is our Canvas about? Let's give it a title. Let's say it's week 3, the functions of popular culture. And click OK. You'll see our title up here. Okay. Now, over here you'll see a number of search options, including to search the web, to search YouTube, to search Google, to use things from your Dropbox or your Google Drive if you have those. You can insert media files from your desktop, or these are some other things. This Educations is an interactive white space. If you want to create a presentation, you can use that tool and then upload it. Flickr is photos, right? So you have a number of ways to search, right? So Chapter 3 largely focuses on television as its central example. So I'm just going to search for some things related to television. I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to search for soap opera. Right? I'm on YouTube. I'm searching for soap opera. And here's what I come up with. And let's say I want to use this. It's a parody from The Ellen Show about soap operas. And I think it's particularly useful because it talks about the reasons fans are so interested in soap opera. So I want to frame this a little bit so people have a way to go into the material, they understand why you picked it and that sort of thing. So I might ask a question that gives them something to focus on or to think about while they're watching the video. Okay, this is where I usually add my introductory lectures. You're free to make a similar kind of lecture. There are instructions on the group project sheet that give you some tips on how to do that. You can use things like PowerPoint, or you can get special apps. You can simply use your phone, create a video, upload it to YouTube, and then drop it in here. It's actually pretty easy. But if you do have questions about that, email me and I can help you. All right, now let's go on to Google and let's say we want ideology is a big topic in popular culture, and particularly in this unit. So we might actually provide people with a stronger definition of ideology, right? So let's look up the term ideology. Dictionary.com, Merriam-Webster, these are just dictionaries. It's probably not what we want to look at. We might find a Wikipedia entry. If you do, go to that and read it and look at the source materials they're using to kind of judge whether this is a reliable entry or not. Okay, so we have Wikipedia, and let's preview it actually. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this looks like a pretty comprehensive definition of ideology. Some ways you can assess Wikipedia is, to come down here to your notes and see if they're using very legitimate source material. So the Journal of History of Ideas is a legitimate source. De Stut de Tracy is the original coiner of the phrase ideology. So he's important. Terry Eagleton's an important guy. So I know these people and I know these are pretty good references. But simply the volume of the references can also tell you that. Is there only one or two references? Are there only one or two references? And if so, well, that might be a problem, right? The other way you can see a little bit about this is to look at the history of how this piece has been edited. Were there any controversies? Did anybody sabotage the page, right? And if they did, then that might compromise the quality of the page. So once you've assessed the viability of the page, and you think it's a pretty useful definition, right? You can go ahead and add it up here. Okay. We can also search for images. Well, let's say we want to find a comic related to ideology. And let's just look at this. No. Well, actually, that's a pretty good one because it illustrates that ideology is a kind of an ideal or an exaggerated interpretation of the world rather than a direct reflection of the world, right? So here we have a kind of puny little Hitler, and in the portraiture, he's been inflated to giant size. So maybe we want to use that. Maybe we want to use another one. This is a concept of ideology as brainwashing, basically, right? Which is not a very useful definition of ideology. So we probably don't want to use that. But let's say we want to use this Hitler one. And we can ask a question up here. Okay, and we can save it. And let's actually change this just to ideology. Okay. And then finally, we need to add some questions for reading, right? So reading comprehension questions. And if you have trouble with the cursors on this, sometimes it does this with Macs. I don't know if it does it with PCs or not. Just go back to the end and hit Shift Return, and that should take you down. Right. So I want 3 to 5 reading comprehension questions. These should focus people on what's important in the chapter. You presumably will have read the chapter and you know. So you have to offer 3 to 5 questions that will help other people focus as they read. So the first question might be for chapter 3, right? What are the 4 primary functions of popular culture? It's a basic comprehension question. If you don't come out of that chapter knowing that, then you really haven't learned anything in that chapter. All right. And then the other questions might just become a little more specific as you go. Right. Once you have your comprehension questions done, I would recommend actually increasing the size. The editing bar here works just like a word processing program that, Microsoft Word or anything like that. I would increase the size just because when you close it, people can actually read it then. If you keep it at 12 point, like this one is, you really can't read it, right? So, but people can scan your questions this way. And once you're done, then building your bricks, and please be a little more conscientious than I have been here. Right? Click Share, and you can take this link and email it to me, and I will then post it to the D2L course module for the week, and students can get it from there and then come look at your site. You should also email me 3 to 5 discussion questions. Those are different from the reading comprehension questions, or they should be, because the reading comprehension questions are really about comprehension. Discussion questions should be more open-ended, and they should ask students to apply, extend, or evaluate the lessons that they're learning in the chapter. Okay, so the reading questions are about comprehension. The discussion questions are about opening comprehension up, right? About thinking about what it is we've learned. Okay, that's it. It's as easy as that. I hope that you have fun with this. It shouldn't be a hugely stressful thing, but do collaborate on it. I don't want to see groups assign people individually to come up and put a brick up, right? If you're not talking to each other, then we're not going to end up with a good module. Right? You need to talk to each other. I've created a space in D2L for you to do that. Decide on the kinds of things that you want to put up there and elect 2-3 people to work on it for you then. Right? You can have the other people then devise the discussion questions or something like that. However you want to split the labor up, it's up to you. But I do want this to be collaborative. Do not want you to simply upload, I'll upload this piece, you upload that piece. Right? I want you all to assert control over the material so that it is coherent and it helps people with what they're dealing with.